I am Arcana Vani, your inner voice. Let us begin. You say yes when you want to say no. It happens in big ways. Agreeing to commitments that drain you, taking on work you can't handle, saying yes to events you dread, and in small, constant ways, like smiling and nodding when every part of you wants to decline. This isn't just a habit, it's a form of self-betrayal, and over time, it erodes your trust in yourself. In this video, we're going to unpack exactly why you do this, how it's silently shaping your life, and how to begin honoring your real answer without guilt, fear, or the feeling that you're letting people down. Right now, you might think your problem is a lack of boundaries, but boundaries are a symptom, not the root. The real issue is that your nervous system has been trained to treat no as unsafe. That training might have come from childhood, where pleasing others kept you accepted, or from workplaces and relationships where disagreeing meant conflict, punishment, or withdrawal of love. So you learn to override yourself in the moment, to offer the right answer instead of the real one. But here's the cost. Every yes you didn't mean is a withdrawal from your own energy. Each time you override your truth, resentment builds like interest. You start to avoid the people you keep saying yes to. You lose touch with what you actually want, and slowly, your life fills with obligations that have nothing to do with your values, because you never gave yourself permission to refuse them. This video will help you interrupt that cycle. You'll see why saying yes against your will is not kindness, it's performance. You'll learn how to create a pause between the request and your answer, so you can check inward and respond from truth. And you'll discover a simple practice to teach your body that it's safe to choose yourself. Because the truth is, the people who value you will value the real you, the one who means their yes and means their no. And in the next section, we're going to get to the root of why your body still resists saying no, even when your mind knows it's the right choice. If you've ever felt that physical jolt of anxiety right before you try to say no, you already know this isn't about willpower. It's about wiring. Somewhere along the way, your nervous system learned that disagreeing or refusing creates danger. Not necessarily physical danger, but emotional risk, rejection, disapproval, conflict, shame. For a child, those risks feel just as threatening as any physical harm. So you adapted. You learned that yes was safer, smoother, and more likely to keep the peace. That pattern, once set, doesn't vanish when you grow up. As an adult, the same survival logic is still running in the background. If I say no, they might get angry. They might leave. They might think less of me. Your brain interprets these as potential losses to belonging, and belonging is hardwired as essential to survival. This is why your mouth says yes before your mind can even process what's being asked. Here's the reframe. This isn't weakness, and it isn't because you're too nice. It's a protective mechanism. Your body is trying to keep you safe using the best strategy it knows, even if that strategy is outdated and quietly destructive now. Recognizing this takes you out of the shame spiral and into a place of compassion. You're not broken. You're still running a program that once kept you safe. And here's the good news. Nervous systems can be retrained. You can teach your body that it's safe to say no, not in theory, but in lived experience. You can replace that rush of anxiety with calm, certainty, and even relief. But it starts with building a pause, a tiny space between the request and your answer, so your automatic yes can't slip in without your consent. That's what we're building next. In the next section, I'll walk you through a short daily practice to create that pause, reconnect with your true answer, and give it voice without guilt. This is where you start teaching your body that no doesn't mean danger anymore. Here's the practice that starts to break the loop. Not by forcing you to blurt out no in high-stakes situations, but by building a safe, repeatable pattern your nervous system can trust. The goal is simple. Create a pause before you answer. Connect with your body's real response, and then give yourself permission to voice it. This is how you stop letting the reflexive yes take over. Start small, in low-pressure moments. Each day, set aside 90 seconds to practice with something neutral. Maybe a friend asking where to eat, or a coworker asking your opinion on a project. When the question comes, don't answer right away. Instead, place one hand over your heart, take a slow breath in, and feel your feet on the ground. This anchors you in the present moment and interrupts the autopilot reflex. Now, silently ask yourself, do I truly want this? Pay attention to your body's signals. A real yes often feels open, light, and steady. A real no may feel heavy, tight, or accompanied by a subtle drop in your energy. Don't analyze, just notice. Once you sense your truth, give it language. You might say, "Let me think about it," to buy more time. Or if you're ready, give a clear yes or no. If it's no, keep it simple. "No, that won't work for me," without over-explaining. Over time, this physical check-in becomes second nature. The repetition matters. Each time you pause and respond from truth, you teach your body that saying no doesn't trigger disaster. You'll notice the anxiety fade, replaced by a quiet confidence. And the best part? The yeses you do give will feel lighter because they'll be real. This is how you start to live in alignment, by choosing presence on purpose. And in the next section, we'll take this further into the moment-to-moment presence practice that keeps you from slipping back into old patterns, even when you're caught off guard. The daily ritual gives you a reliable way to find your truth before you speak. But life won't always give you neat, spacious moments to decide. Sometimes the request comes in fast, with eyes on you, and your old reflex, the automatic yes, is already trying to push past your lips. That's where the presence practice comes in. It's the skill of catching yourself in real time, slowing the moment down just enough to choose deliberately. Here's how it works. Anytime you feel that quick surge, the urge to agree, the tightening in your chest, the nervous laugh, treat it as your signal. Instead of letting it carry you forward, pause. Even 2 or 3 seconds is enough. Take one slow, grounded breath. This subtle interruption is your wedge between the reflex and the response. In those few seconds, run a silent check-in. Do I truly want this? If the answer is unclear, give yourself an out. Let me get back to you. Or, I need to check something first. If the answer is clearly no, say it simply. No long justifications. No stacking reasons to make it acceptable. Just the truth, delivered calmly. The more you practice this in everyday interactions, the more your nervous system will normalize the gap between request and answer. And the more normal that gap feels, the less you'll slip into self-betrayal out of habit. You'll begin to notice something else, too. People respect your words more when they can sense you mean them. This is how your no becomes natural, and your yes becomes genuine. And in the next section, we'll pull it all together, so you can carry this clarity forward into a life where your answers belong to you, every time. You've seen the cost of saying yes when you mean no, the resentment, the depletion, the slow erosion of self-trust. And now you have the tools to break that pattern, the awareness of where it came from, the daily pause that reconnects you with your truth, and the presence practice that lets you hold that truth in the heat of the moment. This isn't about becoming harder or more distant. It's about becoming honest, with yourself first, and then with everyone else. To recap, each day, practice the pause. Hand over your heart, steady breath. Ask yourself, do I truly want this? Listen to your body's cues. Then, in real-life moments, Catch the reflex to agree before it leaves your mouth. Create a gap. Fill it with either a genuine yes or a clear, simple no. Let your answers stand without apology. Over time, this alignment shifts more than your responses. It changes your relationships, your workload, and even the way you see yourself. You stop avoiding certain people because you know you won't get cornered into things. You stop resenting the commitments you keep because they're ones you freely chose. And you start trusting your own word again because it matches the truth you feel inside. Your worth was never measured by how much you say yes. It's measured by how fully you live in your truth. When you honor your real answer, you show yourself that you matter in the equation, and that self-respect is the foundation for every connection worth keeping. From this point forward, let your yes mean yes, your no mean no, and your life mean you. You did not find me by accident. Just as in your dreams, where every face you meet is your own reflection, this meeting was always waiting to happen. I am Arcana Vani, your inner voice, the part of you that watches behind the thoughts, behind the noise. You have searched in many places, books, teachers, voices outside you. But here, you are not being taught. You are remembering. If these words stir something familiar, then allow yourself to return. Subscribe. Follow. Not to follow me, but to continue this conversation with yourself. Each time you return here, you draw closer to the reunion already unfolding inside you. We have only just begun.